News.
This is Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm Sasha Pfeiffer.
And I'm Rachel Martin.
And I'm David First. The Marketplace Morning Report is coming up next here on WNYC. And then in 10 minutes at 9 o'clock, it's the BBC News Hour on 93.9 FM. Let's check in with London to see what they're working on this morning. Good morning, BBC.
Good morning, WNYC. I'm James Kamarasamy. On today's News Hour, a warning from the Burmese military as protests continue against last week's coup. South Africa halts its rollout of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, and hundreds missing in India after a glacier collapses into a river. That's BBC News Hour, coming up at 9 on 93.9 FM, WNYC.
We're seeing delays of up to 30 minutes on New Jersey Transit service into Penn Station, New York right now due to signal issues. This is WNYC. And a programming note for this week, the Senate impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump begins tomorrow. WNYC will provide NPR's live coverage and analysis of the proceedings on 93.9 FM, AM 820, and at WNYC.org. 17 degrees now, going up to 30 degrees today with partly sunny skies. It's 8:51.
WNYC supporters include Rothman Orthopedics, offering a wide range of specialties. Their new location is coming soon to 60th and Madison Avenue. Learn more at rothmanny.com.
On the next All of It, we'll speak with Brooklyn-based artist Swoon about her moving new art installation at Brooklyn Bridge Park that features paintings, cutouts, and live performances as part of PBS's Public Art Initiative. Plus, we'll have a watch party for the hit French series Lupin with Rolling Stone chief TV critic Alan Sepinwall, who will take your calls. I'm Allison Stewart. Join me for All of It, weekdays at noon on WNYC.
Apple is an apple, and it's tech gear, but it is not a car.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Progressive Insurance, comparing car insurance rates from multiple insurers so shoppers can evaluate options in one place. Now that's Progressive. Comparisons available at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. And by C3.ai. C3.ai software enables organizations to use artificial intelligence at enterprise scale, solving previously unsolvable business problems. Learn more at C3.ai.
I'm David Brancaccio. If Apple and Hyundai ever were in serious talks to make a car together, they are not now. Hyundai made that clear today, and its stock went down 6%. Marketplace's Nova Safo joins us.
Well, what shall we say, David? The Apple car hit a bump in the road. Apple put the brakes on its Hyundai tie-up. The stuff writes itself, but here's what we know. It's been about a month since Hyundai initially spilled the beans that it's talking with Apple about a partnership to make a car. Then this morning, Hyundai said it's not in talks with Apple to develop autonomous vehicles. Now, that's it. That's pretty much all the details it gave. Investors are interpreting that statement as talks are off completely. Stocks slid for both Hyundai and its subsidiary Kia, which was reportedly poised to make the Apple car.
Now, is that what an Apple car is supposed to be, drives itself?
Well, Apple has said very little about any of this. It reportedly wants to put a car on the market with its technology in it by as early as 2024. Now, that could be autonomous technology or battery technology or both. The other part of this is how Apple wants to enter the car market. With these talks with Hyundai, it appears it wants to partner similar to its iPhone partnership with electronics manufacturer Foxconn. Apple designs and sells iPhones. Foxconn actually makes them. It seems that's what Apple wants to do with a car, too.
Nova, thank you. S&P and NASDAQ futures are both up 0.5%. Crude oil higher and higher, up 1.4% now at $57.62 a barrel, the highest since December 2019. Remember that world? Toy maker Hasbro has just posted higher than expected profits and sales for the last quarter. This despite the pandemic delaying some big movies, which toy makers rely upon. Here's Marketplace's Samantha Fields.
Big new movie releases often mean new licensed toys. Steve Passerb of the Toy Association says in recent years, that's made up a good chunk of sales for the toy industry.
This year, it was either flat to slightly declining because of the lack of large theatrical releases.
Passerb says there were some licensed toys connected to legacy franchises like Star Wars that sold well in 2020.
Like The Mandalorian in streaming, it did extremely well and generated The Child, which was a hot-selling toy.
And overall, 2020 was a strong year for the toy industry. Sales were up 16%, according to NPD Group.
Despite the lack of entertainment calendar that we've usually had.
Jamie Katz is an analyst at Morningstar, and she says that's because people bought plenty of other kinds of toys.
Fashion dolls have done really well this year. The sports toys category has done fairly well.
With so much less money going toward travel and eating out, she says many parents had a lot more to spend on toys. I'm Samantha Fields for Marketplace.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Avalara. Avalara has been working to take human error out of the tax compliance process using cloud-based real-time rate calculation and automatic return filing. Avalara, tax compliance done right. AVALARA.com. And by Merrill. Merrill Guided Investing helps manage a client's portfolio. MerrillEdge.com/investing goals. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor. And by Destination Medical Center, located in Rochester, Minnesota, a public-private economic development initiative offering an inspiring hub for innovation. More at dmc.mn.
President Biden's focus on green jobs and beating climate change mean the U.S. is back in the Paris climate deal. And remember coal? Marketplace's Andy Euler reports.
The U.S. coal industry isn't likely to prosper under the Biden administration, but it wasn't exactly gangbusters under the previous one either, despite all those promises.
There's a real gap, I think, between rhetoric and reality in the coal industry.
Clark Williams Derry is an energy analyst at the Institute for Energy Economics and Financial Analysis.
The rhetoric was that the administration was going to be helping the coal industry. The reality was that by pursuing what you might call an all-of-the-above energy strategy, particularly one focused on oil and gas, that actually hurt the coal industry.
In the last few years, the industry's decline continued, with power generation from coal dropping significantly. Williams Derry says many utilities switched from producing electricity with coal to doing it with natural gas because, thanks to fracking, gas has become dirt cheap and readily available.
Coal had built its reputation as the cheap way to generate power. And over the course of the past, let's say, 8 to 12 years, it has become the most expensive way to generate power.
On top of natural gas, the price of wind and solar power continues to drop. Alex Wong teaches environmental law at UCLA.
So that dynamic has made it so that the price now, it becomes a no-brainer where you actually save money if you build renewables.
It's terrible news for coal because, according to the Energy Information Administration, power generation accounts for more than 92% of U.S. coal demand. But Betsy Monsu, CEO of the American Coal Council, warns of skyrocketing energy prices like what happened last summer in California during a heat wave if the Biden administration tosses coal by the wayside.
It's important to fuel diversity, and fuel diversity is important to competitive energy markets.
While the coal industry isn't counting on favorable policy from the Biden administration, it's just hoping to at least remain part of the conversation. But Clark Williams Derry says coal's fundamental problems are technological rather than political.
The reality is that the marketplace is attacking coal. Coal, as essentially a 19th century technology, is now competing in a 21st century world that's very different.
President Biden has said that coal workers would not be forgotten, that his administration would help the industry transition from the mines to new jobs, whether those jobs are in a completely different industry or cleaning up the hundreds of abandoned coal mines across the country. I'm Andy Euler for Marketplace.
And Bitcoin is up 10% after news that Tesla invested $1.5 million in the stuff. Soon, the company says you'll be able to buy a Tesla with Bitcoin. One of the lesser-known cryptos, Dogecoin, up 24% last 24 hours, 100% in a week, in part because the influencers-in-chief have been tweeting about it, Elon Musk of Tesla, and Snoop Dogg, who called himself Snoop Doge over the weekend on Twitter. I'm David Brancaccio, Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.
Support for WNYC